Okay guys, in this video, if you're a CEO or a founder that has sat in on some interviews with some confident sales guys who were talking a big game, but when it was time for them to actually perform, they disappeared. I'm gonna be going over the exact framework that helped one of our clients go from a 7-figure business all the way to running a multi-8-figure company. And if you stay to the very end, I'm gonna break down that entire process. So let's get right to it. So a couple years ago, we were working with a CEO, let's call him Dan. He came to us, he's a blue collar guy. Obviously we worked with some people that are in the financial services, some white collar stuff, but Dan specifically, he was in the blue collar industry. His biggest issue was that he was the main sales guy. They were running about a $1.2 million a year business. And the biggest challenge for Dan was that if for whatever reason, he couldn't be selling or working within the company, then the business was dying. So when he came to us, we knew that there was an opportunity to build out a sales team, duplicate it so that there was 2 or 3 Dans who were doing everything that he was doing on the sales side of things. And once we built out that whole process for him, he ended up taking his company to about $1.2 million a year to $14 million in 1.5 years. The first step is identifying what your compensation plan is. And you have 2 options. One is you go the W-2 route, typically giving them a base and you want to add some commission, or you want to go full 1099, full commission, and you just want to hire some mercenaries that are going to go out and sell. There's pros and cons to both, and I'll let you decide based off this breakdown. W-2 guys, it's typically for the types of founders that want to deal with a more sophisticated clientele, right? Like for us, back when we were doing consulting, you didn't want your consultants to be desperate around entrepreneurs and CEOs that were running multi-million-dollar businesses. So that's why you gave them a little bit of a base. And then of course, you still want them to perform and do sales. So it was a base and a commission. Those are people who they're not going to be as hungry because they have a little bit of a comfortable base, but they're not going to hard sell your clients where, you know, they might leave a bad taste in their mouth. That's W-2. The second option for you is 1099. And this is typically for roofers, guys that are in construction, people that just want a group of mercenaries to go to a neighborhood, knock doors, cold call, whatever it is, someone's gonna buy a roof. So why not have them buy it from you? 1099, it's a little bit more hunger, raw, savage killers, and there is less risk up front because, you know, you're not having to pay these guys a base, but you're gonna get a certain type of a salesperson that comes from that. So first step is to choose W-2 or 1099. Step number 2, and this actually came, if you saw in my last video where I interviewed Kareem, which was one of the up and coming managers at Valuetainment with Bet David Consulting. He shared a story that when he first was looking to get recruited, up and coming, he's one of the top guys on the floor. He sat down with the sales manager, Mario, and he said, man, I'm in New York. I'm a finance executive. You know, I have to move to South Florida. I want to do it, but let's wait until after you guys do that event. Give me a couple weeks. I got to make a big move. And Mario, being the sales manager, which ultimately really sold the vision of where the company is going, he just said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Maybe this isn't for you. You see, so many founders and sales managers, they want to sell this dream and this vision, and like they want to be the one to close the person that they're interviewing. But what you want to do is you want to position yourself in a way where the closer is closing you on being a part of the team. If they're a really good salesperson, I remember I sat down at one of these events that we hosted back in the day. I sat down with the sales leader for a $10 million company. And he says, I will not hire someone if they don't ask me for the job. If you're about to recruit a salesperson who's going to ask your clients for millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, they need to ask you with confidence for the job. So part of being able to position yourself in that way is you have to sell them the nightmare. Hey, this isn't for you. Hey, this is really long hours. Yeah, you're gonna make money and this is gonna work, but you know, you're probably gonna eat shit for a little bit. You have to sell them the nightmare. And if they're really meant to work for you and they really want to be a part of what you're doing, they're gonna sell you and they're gonna tell you that they want to be a part of the company. And that's how you know that you got a closer and not just someone who is interview hopping. All right, guys, we're gonna go to the next point in a second, but if you've gotten value from this video so far, like and subscribe for more content like this. And if you want help with any of your sales recruitment process at all, link below to my Instagram, shoot me a DM, and I'm happy to help. Obviously, I get a lot of people DMing me every single day for help for their business. So if you want a guaranteed response, if I don't get to you in time and it's urgent, Minnect me, also link below. But on to the next point. Step number 3 is gonna be the shadow and the mentorship phase. I knew a really smart real estate agent, let's call her Jennifer, and she was about to make a pivot in her career where she's gonna be doing high ticket phone sales. This is someone who maybe did all right for herself selling houses, but was about to pivot into a completely more sophisticated buyer and a clientele, and something that she's never done before in terms of the type of sale. What she was actually able to do that set her up to win was she started to shadow and become mentored by the top closer in the company. So she would invite him out to lunch, she would bring lunch to him, she would take notes on all the calls, she would set up appointments for the closer so she could see how he would handle himself. And 12 months of shadowing the top closer in the company turned her into a multi-million-dollar a year earner. And now she's got the shoes, the clothes, the girl boss babe, you know, she's crushing it. Nice car, nice house, everything that, you know, ultimately people get into sales for. But if you don't have the type of a culture where you have that mentorship and that feedback type of a setup, you're just setting your sales guys up to lose. You're like throwing them into the wind. You're sending them to go hunt buffalo and you're hoping that they're gonna come back. But set things up the right way. Have them shadow you, go on a 90-day run. Maybe it's not 12 months, but have them be in every single appointment that you run. Have them pick up your language and ask them for their takeaways. Okay, what can you take from how I just handled that? What questions did I use? Make it your own language. If you set up mentorship and shadowing and it becomes not just a one-time thing, but an everyday culture within your company, you're gonna have long-term success with all of your sales guys, and you're gonna build a sales team that brings in millions of dollars a year and scales your company. All right, guys, and since you made it this far in the video, I'm gonna give you a bonus tip, and this is actually something that you can use to make your least profitable months into some of your most profitable months. And this is actually something that I won. It's called sales contest. There's one time many years ago, we were running a sales contest for UFC 299. I think it was Sean O'Malley and whatever this other guy was. The UFC guys are gonna hate me because I don't know his name. But anyways, it was $299. He was here in Miami. And basically the contest was, hey, if you sold X amount of tickets to this event, you'd be put into the top 7, and the top 7 people, they're gonna be going to UFC 299 completely paid for by the company, right? And the last day, we're talking about the last hour, I closed one deal, and that one deal made me win the contest for 7th place, the last place, by 0.3 points. Don't ask me how I got 0.3 of a point. I don't know how. I still don't know to this day. Something about split tickets or something. Anyways, if you're able to do that with your company, or maybe there's an event, right? Maybe you guys love going to events. Maybe you guys have married couples, right? Like people that are in, you know, that have families and like, you know, steak dinner, you know, completely on the company. Find ultimately what inspires and what rallies your guys, you know, ultimately more than anyone. But if you kick that off, even for when a sales rep first joined the company, you put 3 guys up against each other, and the first person to hit X amount of appointments, X amount of deals, X amount of activity, because that's a little bit easier when you're first started off, you know, they get this for the company. They get dinner on the company. They get, you know, a nice pair of shirt or shoes, whatever it is, right? Have fun with it. And if you balance that out throughout the year for your low seasons, maybe, you know, if you're in landscaping, you're probably not selling much during the winter months. So what's something that you can get your guys to do during those low seasons, like heavy prospecting, so that when things pick up, they're crushing it, you guys are winning, and you're able to keep your guys active during those low periods. So setting contests is probably one of the most fun parts about running a sales team. It makes it entertaining, and it actually, you know, affects, you know, how much revenue you guys are actually making at the end of the day. So if you got value from that video, I think you'll also get value from this other video that I have here below, and I'll see you on the next one.